so what we're doing here is we're going to write down some formulas to make sure you guys are writing them down too. We have special right triangles. Alright, so there's two types of triangles. We have a 45, 45, 90, and then we have a 30, 60, 90. And today we're working with the 45, 45, 90 first. Alright, so your theorem says both legs are congruent. Your hypotenuse equals root 2 times the leg.
So if you like,
We're going to get to it. Sam, get your packet out. Alright, so you have two equations here. For one in the 45, 45 degree triangle, your leg equals your leg. Write this down, Danny. Your other equation is that your hypotenuse is equal to root 2 times the leg. Those two equations are very important. If we're looking at this first picture, where is my hypotenuse?
the long slanted one.
This one, right? We know that our hypotenuse is always directly across from the right angle. You have to know that. Alright, and so your legs are here. This is a leg, and that's a leg. Or you can use a capital L, that's what I normally use. Alright, so let's look at number 1. Alright, so I know that my leg equals my leg. So I know that this leg is 8. What is this leg going to be? 8. You have to be able to recognize what's a leg.
I thought the leg was 45.
A leg can't be an angle degree. Your angle is 45.
Okay.
So this is your hypotenuse. Always label your triangle. Alright, so here's my formula. I want you guys to write this every time. Hypotenuse equals root 2 times your leg. Alright, what's your hypotenuse in this case?
X.
Alright, do we all agree that X is my hypotenuse? Alright, so this is X equals root 2 times my leg. Well, what's my leg? 8. Alright, anytime you have a radical times a regular number, that can just come together, or you can type it into your calculator. I could write X equals 8 times root 2, or type that into your calculator. What do you get? What is root 2 times 8?
I got it.
You're supposed to get a decimal.
11.31.
And so root 2 times 8. Alright, so we're going to round to the nearest 10, meaning our first decimal here. So that 1 tells me that that 3 stays the same. So my answer is 11.3. Well, you can give me either answer. What did I do? What?
Huh?
What'd you say?
Oh, but those were after the decimal thing.
Alright, look at number 2.
So we put it next year.
Number 2, where's my hypotenuse?
The 3 radical 2.
You guys have to be able to identify that. I will put an H there. Okay? My legs are here. Did they give me my legs? No, so let's just go ahead and name one X. That's what we're looking for. Alright, so now I have my formula. Hypotenuse is equal to root 2 times the leg. What's my hypotenuse in this case? Three root 2 equals root 2 times what's my leg? We don't know. We're solving for, so it's x. Diana, how do I solve for x here? Not multiply. We're going to divide by what? Nope.
By 2.
There is no 2. What kind of 2 is that? Square root of 2 is very different than just 2. If you guys divide by 2, your answer is going to be wrong. We're going to divide by root 2 on each side. So that cancels out. That means I'm left with x equals, and we can cancel this out too, right? So we're left with 3. If you have your calculator, let's say you just want to type it in just to be sure. It was, what was it, 3 root
2.
Alright, so 3 root 2, let's type that in. 3 root 2, when I hit enter, whenever I divide, I just hit enter. And then divided by root 2, just like we wrote, your answer is 3. So you can type it in, or if you can tell that you have the number sets to just cancel it out, and you can cancel it out. Alright, Ryan, number 3, what's my hypotenuse? 18, yeah. Alright, so this is my hypotenuse, leg, and leg. My hypotenuse formula is this. Hypotenuse equals root 2 times the leg. My hypotenuse, we said, was 18 equals root 2. What's my leg?
X.
X. Chris, how do I solve for x here?
Square root, divide by the square root.
Divide by root 2. Divide by root 2. So that means my root 2's are gone. I'm left with x is equal to, alright, let's type this into your calculator. Let's do a decimal. What is 18 divided by the square root of 2? 12.7. Good.
Pick it up.
You guys understanding how this works?
Wait, we don't know.
Huh?
We don't know this.
The next number was less than 5. There's nothing around there. Guys, I am picky on rounding because that is something that we should be able to do. So make sure that we're rounding correctly. Alright, number 4. Where's my hypotenuse? Root 6. So this is my hypotenuse, this is my leg, this is my leg. Did you guys notice that my legs are x and y, right? Okay, but my legs are going to be equal, so it doesn't matter that they're x or y. So I have hypotenuse is equal to root 2 times the leg. Jackie, what do I put in for the hypotenuse? Yeah. What do I put in for the leg? Do I use x or y? It doesn't matter which one you use. At this point, we're just doing regular algebra. How do I solve for x? Divide by what?
No,
Square root of 2. Alright, so that means that's gone. Alright, in your calculators, type in 2 root 6, enter, divided by root 2.
We divide by
2.
I got 3.5. 3.5.
What was it? What did we divide by?
Square root of 2.
Oh, man. Square root of 2.
3.5.
Yes, 3.5 is your answer. Do not give me 3.4. Why is it not 3.4? Because that 6 rounds that 4 up to 5. So my answer is 3.5. That's just x. How do I find what y is? What's y?
Same thing.
The same thing. My legs are equal in a 45, 45, 90 triangle. But you have to fill out the variable for each one. So write down x and write down y.
We gotta do it for both.
Yes. That's what they're asking you for. They're asking you for x and y.
But they don't, it doesn't say right here.
Well, then you can still write in y.
Find the variable.
All right, number 5, we have a square. If I have a square, these little squares in the corner mean what?
They're all equal. They're all 90 degrees.
90-degree angles. So if I cut it in half, it's a what? It's 45, right? So that's 45 degrees, and that's 45 degrees. So now I have a 45 degree angle.
And then the bottom's 18, right?
My hypotenuse is x. Chris, you're right. This leg here would be 18. Because my legs are equal, and it's a square, right? All sides are the same in the square. All right, so I had the hypotenuse is equal to root 2 times my leg. What is my hypotenuse here? It is x. Good. Equals root 2. Chris, what is my leg? What's the leg?
18.
18. All right, because we have everything on one side, this should be easy to solve. Your x can be 18 root 2, because that's just how, if you multiply those two, that's what you get. Or, what's the decimal of this?
Of 25.5.
25.5. Those are your answer choices. So far, so good? All right, let's look at number 6. Chris, stay with me, please. So I have hypotenuse equal to root 2 times the leg. Danny, what's my hypotenuse here? What's the side across from the right angle? The A, good. So A equals root 2 times the leg. What is my leg here?
No, 2
root 2. Or you say 2 times the square root of 2. That's a long way to say it. Alright, let's put this in our calculator. I'm going to type in exactly what I see. So I have the square root of 2. If you guys have it pop up as like a parentheses, that's fine. Times 2 root 2. What did you guys get?
2.4.
You should 2.4? You type it like this? Root 2 times 2 times root 2. You put it all under one radical. You see? So when you type this in, 2, scroll over. And then you can keep going. If you don't scroll over, then it just puts it all in one radical. Guys, make sure you guys scroll over. If not, this little bar here for your radical is going to keep going. All right, so A equals what? A equals 4. What does B equal?
2, the radical to 2.
Good. Nothing to solve there. My legs are equal, so I know that b is 2 root 2. Any questions there? Okay, we're going to change gears, okay? I think we've mastered the 45, 45, 90 triangle. When you guys get back from lunch, you're going to do 7 through 9 for practice. It is not time for lunch at all. When you get back, that's what you'll be working on. We'll go over the answers. So go ahead and turn the page. All right. Chris, can you please focus? Okay, Diana, don't talk to Chris. Chris, don't listen to Diana. All right, 30, 60, 90. Pay attention to this because you're going to miss it. All right, your hypotenuse is 2 times the shorter leg. And your long length is root 3 times the shorter leg.
What do you mean by that?
All right, so let's write this out. Everyone write this down. For 30, 60, 90, we're going to have 3 equations. All right? First, let's say we have the hypotenuse. To find your hypotenuse, it is 2 times the short leg. I don't write out short leg, I just use SL. So get used to seeing SL and LL. Alright, if I want to find the long leg, it is root 3 times the short leg. And if you want to find the short leg, it is the hypotenuse divided by 2. So I am not going to make you guys memorize this. I will give you an index card a little later. At the end of this, I'll give you an index card. But these equations are very, very, very important. I think if you have the equations, then you're good. And you know how to do the rest. All right, let's figure out how will I know whether it is the hypotenuse, the short leg, or the long leg. Well, we should know the first one. Where's my hypotenuse? Across from the right angle. So this is my hypotenuse. Write that in. Diana, are you focused? All right, you guys remember back a few units ago when we talked about if you want to see which side is the shortest or the longest, it's across from the smallest or the largest angle. You guys remember that? All right, so we have 30 and 60. Which one is smaller?
30.
30. So that means directly across from this would be the short leg. I normally try to make it drawn to scale so you can see that, this one is shorter, so it has to be the short leg. The 60 is my larger angle, so that has to be the long leg. Your hypotenuse, even though it's across from the 90-degree angle, that will never be the long leg. That is always your hypotenuse. So I try to draw it to scale, but sometimes it doesn't work that way. Like, in the middle picture, you guys can tell that this is the short leg, this is the long leg, right? But here, it kind of looks the same, but looking at my degrees on my triangles, I know this is my short leg and this is my long leg. Does that make sense? How we can always tell what it is? Very good. All right, let's look at number 1. The first thing I want to do is find and highlight my hypotenuse. What is my hypotenuse?
12.
12. If you don't have a highlighter, that's fine, but I definitely want you to write in H. For 30, 60, 90, you guys need to be writing in what your variables are. All right, what's my short leg? The one on the bottom or the one on the side? So this is my short leg, this is my long leg. My pictures are kind of bad. Let's call that X, let's call that Y. I didn't put the variables in it. It wasn't designed that way. On your test and your quiz, it'll be labeled. All right, when I start to solve, I want to start with whatever information that I actually have. I have the hypotenuse, the short leg, and the long leg. Which numbers do I actually have?
The short leg one.
The short leg is X. Which one do I actually have?
The hot.
Hypotenuse. They already gave me 12, so that's what I'm going to start with. For 30, 60, 90, what is my equation for hypotenuse?
Equals 2 short leg.
2 times the short leg. Don't write too big, because we're going to have 2 equations here. Alright, so this is my equation for 30, 60, 90 of the hypotenuse. My hypotenuse, they told us, was 12 is equal to 2 times, what's my short leg?
30.
Okay, be careful. I don't want you to mix up angles and sides. Okay? Your short leg is what? X. So how do I solve for x? 12 equals 2x. What do we do?
Subtract.
No, we're multiplying. What's the opposite of multiplying?
Divide.
We divide by 2. So x is going to equal, Chris, what's 12 divided by 2? Is 6. So my short leg is 2. Oh wait, sorry. Alright, so that's 1. Alright, I got my short leg. Now I need to find the long leg. What's my equation to find the long leg?
Long leg. I was going to say long leg.
Root 3 times what? The SL, the short leg, right? Alright, Diana, what did they give me for a variable for my long leg? Good. Y is equal to root 3 times, what do we get for my short leg?
Wow.
6. You got 6. That was my answer. Right, we just solved for it. Alright, so you can have your answer is 6 times root 3, or if you want to give me a decimal, what is 6 times root 3? I got 10.4. Can you round that 3 up?
Yeah.
Okay, so 10.4.
I got 4.2.
6 times root 3? You get the root 2. You're putting it all under 1. You can't do that. 6 times root 3. You have to scroll over. Well, if it's a matter of you learning how to just scroll over, I think that's an easy fix. It doesn't mean you're going to fail it. Alright, we're going to get through a couple more before lunch. Number 2. Here's my hypotenuse.
Y.
Y. Alright, what's my short leg? And what's my long leg? Good. So, what should we start with? The short leg, long leg, or hypotenuse?
Short.
Guys, they gave us variables for the short leg and the hypotenuse. I want to start with a number.
Oh, 60. 30, my bad. 30.
Don't look at the angles. The angles do not matter anymore once we label it. We're talking about sides. Okay? So, I have 15, X, and Y. Which one is a number?
15.
15, which is my
Long leg.
long leg. Okay, so what's the equation for my long leg?
Long leg equals root 3 small times small leg.
Short leg.
Short leg.
Alright,
I just say small leg.
now. So, that just sounds weird. Your long leg is what? 15. Good. We want to start with a number that they actually gave us. Alright, I'm going to bring my root 3 down. Alright, Sydney, what is my short leg? Huh? Good. X. Okay, if I want to solve for x, what do I need to do? Not just 3.
The root of 3.
Root 3. Alright, so my root 3's can cancel out, right? Go to your calculator.
I got 25.1.
15 divided by root 3.
Oh, let me take that back.
You should get 8.7 when you write it down, right? We're going to round that 6 up because that second 6 tells me to. You get it? Alright, so you can give me for answers. Well, actually, here you can just do x equals 8.7. Alright, and that was the long leg, right? No, that was the short leg.
Well, off one leg.
No, you already had the long leg.
Short leg.
That was the short leg, because that was x.
You're killing me.
Alright, so now, what do we still need?
Short leg. Long leg.
Chris, stop just guessing, it doesn't make any sense. The short leg was 8.7. Write it in if you need to. We have that short leg, we have the long leg. Do I have the hypotenuse? No, so let's solve for that. What's your equation for the hypotenuse? Short leg. 2 times the short leg.
Small leg sounds better.
No, it doesn't. Alright, your hypotenuse is y equals 2 times your short leg. Chris, what was the short leg?
Huh?
What was the short leg? You already solved for it.
Oh, 8.7.
8.7. Alright, so what do we get for y?
Oh, we got to put the second calculator. 2. Go there.
17.4 is what you should get.
Wait, what? What do we have to get?
17.4. Did you get it? What'd you get?
I got 12.3.
2 times 8.7. That's not what you did. What? No! Guys, listen, you cannot get confused with sides and angles. Okay? The 30 is just there and the 60 is just there so you can label short leg, long leg. Does that make sense? Once we label it, leave those numbers alone. You did root 2. That's not what it says. It says 2.
Oh.
Alright, number 3. Here's my hypotenuse. Alright, what's my short leg? Okay, and what's my long leg?
3.
Alright, based on this picture here, the short leg, the hypotenuse, and the long leg, what do I want to start with first? Which equation?
Long leg.
The long leg, thank you. So my long leg is root 3 times the short leg. So now I can plug in. What do we have for my long leg?
3.
3 equal, or 3 times root 3. Alright, so then I have root 3 times the short leg. What's the value for my short leg? Okay. Now how do I get a by itself? Divide by root 3. Divide by root 3. Diana, what do I do now? What happens to those root 3's?
They cancel out.
They cancel out. It's like 1 divided by 1, and you still have. Alright? So A equals what?
3.
You should just get regular 3 because it can also cancel out on this side. Alright, that's one equation. We have one more. Alright, we have the short leg. We have the long leg. What do I not have? The hypotenuse. Your equation for the hypotenuse is 2 times the short leg. So your hypotenuse is C, 2 times your short leg, which is 3. What's your short leg? Sorry, what's your hypotenuse?
6.
You should get 6. The more you do this, if you have a regular number for your short leg, that could save you some time. If my short leg was 2, I know my hypotenuse is 4. Okay, you're just multiplying your short leg by 2. But if you don't remember that, that's fine. Use your formula. All right, we have one more before lunch. Number 4. Here's my hypotenuse. This will be my short leg. This will be my long leg. I did not write a variable, so how about we write x for the short leg and y for the long leg. Okay? What do we want to start with? With the hypotenuse. My equation for hypotenuse is 2 times the short leg. My hypotenuse, I got 12 root 2 is equal to 2 times, what's my short leg? X. All right, Chris, how do I solve for x?
Divide.
Divide by 2 on each side. This cancels out. What is 12 divided by 2? Oh, sorry, 12 times root 2 divided by 2. 8.5, good. X equals 8.5. When you write in your calculator, you type in the top, hit enter, divide by 2.
And that's the short leg, right?
Yes. So now we need the long leg. My formula for the long leg is root 3 times the short leg. My long leg I have is y is equal to root 3 times the short leg, which was 8.5. All right, you guys type that into your calculators. What do you get? Root 3 times 8.5. Make sure you scroll over from your radical first.
14.7.
Good, 14.7. Once you guys have this written down, you may go to lunch. Make sure you're on time coming back because we're going to go review problems.
If you keep that,